In May of 2024, God showed me in a dream. It was like milk was spewing out of my breast. And I said to my husband, my daughter, I was like, oh my goodness, because I do have a gift of being a dreamer. And I said, the Lord showed me in a dream like milk spewing out my breast, and it was just weird. When I went to the doctor, I found out on July 5th that I had breast cancer. And then I went through getting the biopsies done and found out it was stage one, but I had two tumors. And immediately I was like, oh my God. And Dr. Roni she kept encouraging me that you can get through this, you can get through this. I went ahead, everything was accelerated. I had a double mastectomy. I did the reconstruction, and that was on August 6th. But after going through that, my body did not have a good detox. And so I became debilitated where I could hardly walk. And my husband was like, what's that lady's name? I said, Dr. Ronnie. He was like, well, you might, he just strongly encouraged me that you might need to go to Martha's Vineyard. And so I spoke with Dr. Ronnie. I make the arrangements. And literally, when I flew to Martha's Vineyard, I was in a wheelchair. And within the first day when I got there, Dr. Ronnie immediately started the treatment for me. And while I was there, I was taking the transfer factors, not knowing that this was going to be, something that I could use when I left. And what I loved about it is everything she showed me, um, everything we did at the retreat, it wasn't just for the retreat, but it was for a lifestyle. And so Dr. Ronnie was just, God used her. It was like God sent her as an angel in my life. He used her to let me know that I was strong enough for this. And I was able during that time as I was going through the detox just to really draw closer spiritually. And it was just a time for my body to heal. And I'm looking forward to after I get through my final chemo journey, because I still have to go every 3 weeks to get the Herceptin injection. I can't wait until once I'm finally done, the end of December, 1st of January, to go back to Martha's Vineyard to be able to really go there this time to really be able to enjoy and walk there and then walk back out of there.
So, excuse me if I get a little emotional because I'm an empath. And God's good because when Rocquale came, I knew in my heart that cancer was something that I had to do. That I knew that I was an organ specialist, a detox specialist, but I just didn't want to go down that road with being a cancer doctor. But Rocquale, I keep thinking about her, and I know that God is changing me because I've got 3 people coming in 2 days. They're all cancer. Now, when you have a family, a daughter whose husband have it, and whose mother has it, and she has it, you gotta wonder what God's doing. Because I come from that world of 21 pounds in 21 days, the world. I come from that world of detoxing your liver and your kidneys and your lymphatic system and your colon, right? Now, detoxing people from cancer. And then every time I get a cancer client, when I do telehealth, I think of Rocquale. Because I kept saying to myself, it's Rocquale that I fell in love with, how when I was helping her, that I know that that's what God wants me to do. So when she was at the retreat, it was about 5 principles that I taught her. And I learned these principles from the best cancer alternative integrative doctors around the country. And that is number one. We had to do autophagy, which basically means we had to suppress the cancer growth. And how you do that is by decreasing the toxin debris, right? I had to show her that we had to boost her immune system, which means modulating her immune system through doing all of this. I'm still trying to do what's called body, mind, and spirit. Do you know how hard that is? Not a lot of doctors can do that. And I can do that because I come from that world as a nurse where I used to study emotional psych. I was a psych nurse. So I knew how to do that. And then at the same time, I was doing ketosis with Raquel. Like I was doing things like not only giving her the red, green, and yellow, but I was making sure that there was no extra sugar, decrease the carbs, all of that I was taking into consideration. And then at the same time, I was making sure she did her coffee enemas and she was doing all of these things to release the toxins out of the body. And then I had to think about apoptosis. Now, here's the thing about apoptosis. Transfer factor in the products that we use every day for longevity is the number one reason why cancer cells do what's called, I don't use this word a lot, but apoptosis means kill the cells, kill the cells, kill the cells. And then I alkalize the body. And how was I alkalizing the body with her? I was giving her the best of the greens. Greens is alkalizing. And all of these things together decrease the inflammation in the body so that while she is actually developing immunity and developing health, I gave her the opportunity to make the best decision that she could make. Whether it was chemo, whether it was radiation, it didn't matter what her choices were. We had to get her healthy. And that's what the retreat is about. And I do it by telehealth, and I do it by people coming to the retreat. I do it by consultations. But at the end of the day, when this family comes in a couple of days, it's all 6 principles that I just mentioned is why Raquel was able to make the best decision that she had to. So I never met her husband, but man, did I meet an angel. Because not only did Raquel allow me to sit back and say, you know what? I think I'm going to have to do a lot of cancer work now. So thank you, Raquel. As emotional as that sounds, I'm doing a lot of cancer work, Raquel. The journey is always about your illness, no matter what diagnosis it is. It's not an appointment. It's a lifestyle. And so when you come to the retreat, you're coming to learn a new lifestyle. And even though she came to the retreat and our business is really about detoxing the organs, we were literally detoxing carcinogens because toxins are carcinogens. And no matter where those toxins come from, whether it's a cancer cell, no matter what cell it is, and we helped her liver through all of the herbs that we were giving her and the coffee enemas. We helped her kidneys. We helped her lymphatic system. We gave her the green drink. We helped her with the oxygenation. We gave her the immune boost and the transfer factors, which help her to modulate her immune system. We help her to decrease the inflammation through the food that we was giving her called PEVI. And PEVI means protein for P, E, essential fats, V, vegetables, and Y, your essentials. And when you put it all together, we are practicing a little bit about what cancer cells hate. So we do autophagy, which basically means the ability to stop feeding the cells toxin, suppressing the cancer growth. The immune modulation means the ability for your immune system to recognize the cancer cell. And then ketosis, the state in which the cancer don't have the sugar to feed on it. And then detoxing, like removing the carcinogens from the body. And then if we cannot underestimate the value, it's love. It's the ability to take someone and to show them that they can love their bodies more than anything, God gives them that gift to love their body. And when you're able to accept your diagnosis and love the body to the point where you can allow these bad toxins to leave the body and to receive the good stuff in, which is the vitamins and the minerals and the phytonutrients and the oxygens, that's what heals you from cancer. And then your brain starts to say, I can now move to the second stage. And that is, I got a choice. A lot of people are not able to make that choice, like Rocquale, because they're so toxic. And they're in a situation where they're not in the mind, body, spirit environment, especially when you're at home in your own environment where you can't think clearly. Sometimes you got to pack your bags and you got to leave. And that's what we offer at the retreat.